Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of We Are Legion Live. Tonight, joining us, we have People of the Parallel. How's it going?
How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, man. It's been a long couple of days. Sorry about last night. I was definitely not feeling very well.
Okay.
uh, I can barely hear you.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you better now.
All right, I'll try. I'll stick my mouth right on this microphone.
Yeah, yeah, it's better
All
closer
right,
to the
cool.
mic.
Yeah, did you ever catch the COVID?
No, well, I thought I had it in December of 19, but I was told that I couldn't have possibly had it in December of 19 because it wasn't here yet.
Really?
So
Or so
they
they
won't,
say.
yeah, or
Yeah.
so they say. But
Yeah.
of course, it wasn't in Italy until February, but they found a kid that had it in November of
Really?
19. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so just it doesn't fit their timeline. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I distinctly remember having a 2 week period in December of 19 where I just felt like utter garbage. Everything on me hurt.
Yeah.
I had pretty much everything, every symptom that except for the trouble breathing, uh, and but but of course it didn't fit their timeline, so they won't even bother testing me for antibodies.
Yeah. No, I think I get it. Like, man, I don't know how to explain it. I'm always joking with my wife about it because whenever I don't feel right, I say it's COVID. But I mean, it's you never know. I mean, it's. I've known a bunch of people that actually caught it, so I mean, it's just crazy how you know you don't
Yeah,
know what the hell's going on, where it's at, or it's the ghost.
yeah. Everything is just completely crazy with that, and
Yeah. So is this just like YouTube, or this is StreamYard?
it's
A lot of
StreamYard, but it'll be posted live to YouTube,
Okay, cool.
and it'll be posted back over on YouTube. Um,
So
I'll,
people are looking at my face right now.
yeah, we got people over here in the chat, and we are we are live on YouTube, and
Awesome.
it will drop off and it'll post again in like 12 or 14 hours, and I'll get you a link to it whenever it reposts.
Oh, okay. All right. So I can't see you right now over there on my other screen. Oh, I got you. I got it.
Oh
I'm good.
yeah,
I'm good enough.
make sure you have the volume turned off on that other one,
Got you.
or else you will uh, you will get lots of feedback.
So we got Melissa Francis Sleuth. I think I know her. Trissette.
Yep.
All these people. How's
Yeah.
everybody doing?
Most of the people we got right now are from out in Australia.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Trissette's a good friend of the show.
Yeah.
She's actually a backup singer for John Fogerty, and but she's on holiday in Australia right now, visiting her family. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I read that in her bio.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself now?
Uh,
Let everybody know.
my name's Justin. People of Parallel Music. Um, I do the LGTW. I'm the LG2 guy. Um, I'm from all over the United States. I've done it all. I've seen it all. Um, I went to school in Arizona, the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, to be an audio engineer. And this is when I moved out to Nashville, Tennessee, to pursue a career in music. I worked at Omni Sound Studios for a little bit, and ran a bunch of restaurants after that didn't go so well. You know what I mean? I mean, it went well, but when you're out in Nashville, it's a dog eat dog city out here. You know what I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like it's a great place. There's a lot of great people out here, no doubt about that. But I mean, it's just everybody's moving here to do music. And so it's just it's a very cutthroat, and you got to get in and secure your place. You know what I'm saying? And I was fortunate to meet a lot of cool people in the beginning. And then I had a couple of weird situations that kind of offset me to take a break and go somewhere else. And
hmm
this is when I ran a bunch of pizza restaurants, Papa John's. I was general manager for a long time, running restaurants in the Nashville area. And basically, I think it was in 2015 when I started, 2014 So I decided to make one more attempt at it, just to go balls to the wall, and not necessarily because when I was young, I lived in Chicago and we performed, 7 nights a week in bars and everything, and rock and roll, rap, Cherry Red, Subterranean, Double Door. These are places that we all frequented growing up, and I like being an artist, but I wanted to do something else instead. I didn't want to necessarily be a performer. You know what I mean? I want to be the producer or the guy behind the scenes making it all work. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The puppeteer, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
without calling an artist a puppet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta turn this. YouTube's tripping me out. I'm gonna close the screen. It's a mad delay going on.
Yeah. It does that a lot. Even on my screen where I have the chat on one side, there's usually a big delay between the chat and sometimes the chat's even faster than the video. And then I'm like, what are they even talking about?
And when I was talking, I was seeing my face move. My words were tripping up because I was trying to look both ways at the screen. All right, yeah. So basically, man, I grew up when I was a kid. I wanted to be famous. Okay, a lot of kids grow up where they have these ideas of, what they want to do to save the world or change the world. I wanted to make music. And ever since third grade, I thought I was going to be a famous rapper one day. And that was my big claim to fame growing up. I did a lot of underground Chicago hip hop from 1998 till 2004. And then I lived in my car for about a year and a half doing music and touring around the city, doing rock and roll stuff. And, I lived in a little studio that I used to pay rent to my best friend's mom. And I'd pay her, I think it was like $100 a month. And I lived in the garage, man. I'd sneak in there at 5 and I'd record music all the way till noon the next day. I'd pass out. So it was I lived a very surreal, what do you call it? It's not practical or a good realistic type of, stable, I'm stable, but not in my opinion, when I went to school, the first thing they said is if you want to do music, you got to be crazy enough to jump off the bridge. And then when you hit the water, be willing to still swim because it's going to smack. It's going to hurt when you hit that water because the bridge is it's a high jump, and, I've just always been a risk taker, you know what I mean? So when I fail, I look at it like, well, how you're going to fail? You're going to fail 1,000 times before you're going to win. And, I never ever looked at myself as being unrealistic in all these things, you know what I mean? So, it's about having a good time, being around good people. And, when I always went and played, or when I did anything in reality, when it came to music, when you come in with nothing, what are you going to come out with? And I've always come out with more than I went in. So that was always my goal. Like when I started to do social media, I didn't do social media for nothing when it came, when AOL and all those things came out, man, I did not like it. I wasn't down for the internet. And it was when I went to schools when I had to start, getting acclimated to all that. But yeah, Twitter, this is my first go around. I've been on social media for 2 years now. And, there was a big plan on how we were going to all, interact and make everything happen and move. And because social media can be difficult too, but I don't know if anything makes sense.
Well,
I try to keep it.
you said something in there that I kind of disagree with. You said that each time you failed, but it doesn't sound like you've ever failed to me because it sounds like you learned something from every one of those.
Yeah, they're all wins. But
if you're learning from it, it's not a failure. I have two ways of looking at it. You're either winning or you're learning.
Yeah.
The only time you fail is when you give up.
Exactly, for sure.
And so, no matter what your endeavor is, you're going to try some things that don't work out, but you're going to learn from that. And the next time you try, you're not going to make that same mistake again. So, this is a very competitive business, music. It's the same way when you do any type of acting or anything like that. If you want to be famous, you're going to have to pay your dues.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to be at rock bottom at some point in time before you can ever climb back up to the top. And I've told this to many people that have been on the show is no matter what point you are in your music journey, even the biggest stars were at that point at some time before they became big stars. Yeah. So It's just how much you're willing to put into it.
Man, I'm willing to sell my soul.
And,
I'm just joking.
No. Hey,
I mean,
I've been known to look for a few crossroads myself. So don't even go there.
No, I'm completely with you on that 100%. I get, like, I'm not, what do you call it? Yeah, I'd be happy making, 30, 40 grand a year, consistently making music. That to me is you make 10,000 is good. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
if you can bring in money to, pay off something as small as a car, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a good thing. And the first 5 years is going to suck. I mean, but it's going to, if you keep going and you keep going, you're going to get something out of it. Something's going to happen.
Yeah. But I used to watch the VH1 Behind the Music for some of us that are a little bit older and can remember when they actually had stuff like that on music television. But in each one of those, no matter who the artist was and how big a star they were, they always had a story about how they were living out of their cars, or living on their buddy's couch, or eating out of a dumpster or whatnot, begging people for food and playing in the subway for tip money.
Yeah.
They all have that same type of story. It's what you're willing to put into it to make. I mean, eventually, things might come around where you can't do that anymore. But if you want to really make this your life, then you're going to have to put in the work to make it happen.
I'm blessed to have a good, a great support system as well. Family wise, I can't really say anything. I mean, I owe it all to my wife. My wife believes the power. You see what I'm saying? So, she knows the journey and everything. And, it's just, I got kids, and it's a whole family event. This whole LG2 thing is, it's my kids, my wife, we're all helping each other out. It's like a constantly evolving wheel, because I'd go crazy if I was doing this all by myself, but, it's a good thing when you have support. If you got no support, man, I'll tell you, it's very difficult. I grew up when it's like, no, don't quit your day job and all that yada yada yada.
Well, as hard as it might be to believe that at this point in time, with the way social media and stuff is, with all the people that are out there helping artists share their music and stuff like that, it's actually easier to do than before all that.
Oh, yeah.
When you had to actually put your feet to the pavement and get out there on the road and literally go play for free in places just so people could hear your music. Yeah. And it's just not like that anymore. And
we used to stand out and we give away at the Congress Theater downtown Chicago. We used to sit out there every time there was a big concert, and we'd just be throwing CDs everywhere. We bought like a giant duplicator for like $2,000, and we just duplicate thousands of CDs and just throw them all over the city, and it's funny now that you can just upload your song overnight and it hit the streaming platforms the way it does, and the brilliant thing about it all is that there's so many damn people on social media, especially on Twitter. If you, in my opinion, when I first started on Twitter, I was trying to practice this to say to you today. Actually yesterday, I was watching some of your interviews. I was like, well, how's this guy talk? How are we gonna get this going? I don't want to be all quiet and shit.
I like throw some wrenches in on people every once in a while. I just go with the flow, man.
Yeah. But basically, man, but I watch people online. I've seen you, online. I check your page out every day. So it's not like, there's some people that I pay attention to see how they interact. And obviously we have something in common, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like we're both, we're willing to share. Okay. When someone shares with us, we're willing to think, okay, well, I'm going to help you get this one step further. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff on, social media. If I could change, if I had control of it, like I said, let's not make me look like extreme narcissist, right? But if I could stop the wheel for 1 second and say, hey, listen, we all know each other here. Let's just share this shit. You know what I mean? And see what happens. Like, just check in one day a week, and you got 50, 60 people in a room, over, a bunch of different rooms. Just everybody just hit the like button or just retweet it. Who cares? And
That was the whole idea that I had when I started doing this. I was like,
yeah,
drop your links, retweet this damn
yeah,
thing. It's not that hard to, once you hit like, to just go over and hit retweet as well, and you're blessing out to a lot more people that
oh
way.
yeah,
And it's not so much the likes that are helping; it's that retweet button that's going to get you to reach out and hit more people. And then once that happens, then the likes are going to come. These
yeah.
people are going to hear the music,
Oh,
and then they're going to start following. And that was the whole deal with that. And then we branched out to because you've seen that daily stream every day, man. You can get lost in the shuffle in there pretty easily. So I started doing these so I could single out artists, let people get to know the artists themselves, and kind of do it like that. And actually, you're the first person that I've had on after they've been the artist of the day, that new one that I've been doing, where it's just one single artist to kind of spotlight them in their own separate little tweet. How did that look? Did you check out it? Did it make any type of dent in your analytics or anything like that?
Oh yeah. I've gotten up to almost 2 million impressions. Before Eyes and See, the impressions for that month was 1.7 million. So that was a shitload of impressions. That was but I was doing it every day. I only do that before I make a release. I go make these little videos. I go balls to the wall before the whole entire month and a half. I'll promote it, and I'll rack it up. I'm sure you get. You're over 1 million impressions, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I use monthly. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I see these playlist threads too, it was just insane. You know what I mean? How much you can get people to see it, right? But here's where I started to slow down. So I spent a lot of time getting the hashtag LGTWO popular. Yeah, I'm talking about, it was like I used to wake up in the morning, man, and I used to, I'd drop a tweet, and like 2 days later, still nothing, zero. And I'd be like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this is insane. Like, millions of people. But you got to connect with people. Like, you got to reach out. Like, and that's what's so funny about half of this shit online is that, are you against swearing? Are you? I can.
No, I'm an ex-sailor, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
All right. So basically, here's what it is. So, in social media, you got all types of tools and buttons and things to use to your advantage, right? But a lot of people don't do it. And I'm not going to go pry into the mindset of everything, but here was what my mindset was this. When I first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to put nothing but my shit out there. All right. And I started realizing, like, that's the reason why this shit ain't working. I'm like, you have a profile picture, right? So the most important part of your whole entire existence on social media is this little freaking circle, right? If you can make that circle show up in thousands of different places, not just your tweet links, not just your music or your tweets. If your little circle picture that this damn big can show up on thousands of accounts, it's amazing what can happen. Because I'm the guy. I check my likes. I look on I don't make a lot of tweets anymore. I make probably 10 tweets a week, right? And when I look at those tweets, I look at the likes and I look at the retweets, and I see those people. And I recognize those people, and I know those people are people that are down. I guess how you say, that are the kind of people you want around, because they think we all birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? I'm like, you got guys who like and don't retweet, and you got guys who do both. You know what I mean? Everybody's a valuable asset. I got dudes that we don't follow each other, but we retweet and like each other's stuff, and that's our agreement. I'm like, hey, we don't really talk, but this guy gets it, and I don't got to follow him. He doesn't got to follow me. And there's some dudes that I follow and that they don't follow me back, but we support each other. It's really weird, man. And some people get mad at if you don't follow them back sometimes too. And once I was able to get past all that and realize that this is like, it's amazing what can get done, man. It's insane. I've come from the bottom in 2019 from nothing, you know what I mean? And we've, making money, mixing and mastering now and doing these things that we want to do from the beginning. Before I thought I was going to do nothing but promo, You know, I was like, okay, well, I'm not thinking about music anymore that much. I'd like to just help these people, you know, promote. Then I said, well, it's going to be really hard to come up with a valuable plan that doesn't involve fraud. I mean, dude, you got to see all these marketing like the fake stream shit that's everywhere out here. Okay, that stuff, it's a plague. You can't, you see what I'm saying? It's like so bad, and it makes it so hard for people like us who want to do it in reality. Because in reality is this: your thread, it's worth money. Now, how you look, when I see it, I'm like, okay, well, first of all, here's a guy who comes in every day, he drops a tweet, and he retweets everybody's shit. I'm like, that is a rare thing online, and people, you know, like I said, man, it's I look at everything at a dollar amount, but not looking at it like it's I'm trying to take things from people. What do you call it? But everything's worth something in life. Everything you do is worth something. You know what I mean? Time is valuable. Time is valuable, you know? So we came up with a system where, you know, we do mixing and mastering, and we also, the promo is attached to that. So it's like a special deal. It's not just like, you know, you know, you're getting a full package. You know, you're getting, you know, mixed master, you're getting write-ups, you're getting Google posts, you're getting all types of shit. And that goes right to, you know, the value of it all. And that's what we have found has worked the best. You know what I mean? And
well, you're in a kind of a different situation than I am, because you're also an artist yourself, and you're in this to make money. I have a separate day job that I do, so my source of income comes from a different location. I do this because I enjoy doing this, and we have different perspectives on how to do it. You have to charge to make a living. That's just no way around it, because you fill a lot of hats. I mean, you produce, you make music, you run playlists, you help promote other people's music. You're completely insane. I mean, the work that you put in there is way more than
a whole lot of free stuff going on still.
Yeah, well, I understand. I understand all the free stuff completely, and I'm not complaining about it. I've never once tried to charge anybody anything. I've had people who want to connect with me to sell my services to promote, so people will buy time on their sites.
Yeah, and, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I think
they do that, and I'm all for that, and I'm cool with that. I still didn't ask them for any money to do that as of yet. But I was like, yeah, I'm cool if they want to buy a monthly package from you, and you want to tell them that I'll get them on for an interview. Okay, we can do that. I love talking to the artist and having these chats and stuff. To me, it's my time to hang out. I mean,
first time I've hung out with you. First time I've talked to any human online like this since I've talked to True Words. We do the Insta chats and shit, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time dad. I just got my kids to sleep right before I came down here.
I'm actually, dude, you and me actually the same person.
And
I'm a homeschool dad, man. So I mean, there's a lot of shit going on.
And any other time that I have, you can probably catch me online. Today I wasn't online because I was resting up, trying to get over whatever this little illness is that I have. I mean, it's more like a stomach virus than anything. And but yeah, I rested up, and I had people checking in on me, making sure I was all right, because I wasn't retweeting stuff today, and I was pretty much offline all day today. I mean, I didn't even drop my stream.
Saturdays and Sundays.
It's very rarely that I miss a day where I don't drop my daily thread or something like that. But today I was not feeling it. I was like, I'm gonna rest.
Well, I was like, man, is this guy? I was like, I DM Free Mind Blind. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna DM Legion real quick and be like, feeling better. And I'm like, okay, let me text Mike. You know what I mean? And then freaking, I was like, man, just thinking about D-bag or something. Like,
no, man.
Last Mike, that magical tweet. I'm like that throw him off, you know?
No. Mike hit me up too. He was the one that asked me. He's like, "Hey man, you doing okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. I've just been trying to rest up and get feeling better because I'd already canceled the show once, and I was like, man, I'll make it through the show tonight." But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much on the go 24/7, and the only time I actually get to speak with real people is when I do my show.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it as laid back as possible. I want it to feel like that we're all just hanging out in the backyard, just talking about music and stuff like that, and just a bunch of friends. And that's what, for whatever reason, it just really hasn't caught on yet.
I think it's catching on.
It is more and more. For the first couple of months, of course, I wasn't really doing that good with the shows. If you watch some of those earlier shows, we kind of just stumbled through them and stuff. But now we're getting better and better at the show, and I've upgraded the equipment and got some of the technical issues worked out.
Yeah.
To where, because I feel bad putting video out for people that's not good quality video. And there's been a couple of times where I said, all right, we'll put this up online, but I'm going to have you back because I can't have you having bad video out there because I'm supposed to be here trying to promote you, and putting crappy video out there for you is not, and it wasn't even your fault, but that's one of the downfalls of doing live video is you're at the mercy of the internet gods, and anything can go wrong. I mean, it's machinery. You can have technical issues, microphones not work, you get feedback, whatnot. It's going to happen, and I've gotten better at working around those types of incidents to where we don't have these big long pauses in the middle of shows because a video freezes or something like that. So why don't we pause for a second, and I know you mentioned your hashtag, but why don't you tell everybody out there where they can find you on all your social media and stuff like that?
All you got to do is go to Google and type in LGTWO. We have Knowledge Panel, so we're an actual business in Nashville. So, I mean, it's established, and my name will come up with all that. So, basically, it's you look up, who is LGTWO. That's what I'd prefer the most if people did look it up. LG2 is pretty much the plan A is obviously the music, right? Like the bill, right?
Yeah.
Plan A is the music. Plan B is LG2, and but it's almost like an A/B button on a compressor, in and out. You know what I mean? So to me, they're both the same value, but one's more practical than the other, and so instead of putting all my eggs into one basket, the whole production, engineering, artistic side, songwriting, it all falls into the LGTWO category. So it's all really pretty much one thing, So I mean, but yeah, it's I don't even know what the hell we were talking about there. Oh, so you say where to find me? This LGTWO, that's the most important thing. I guess that's what I would like to be known for before I go back to space.
It happens, man. I do it all the time. I'll be talking, and then I'll be like, what was I even? I was going to ask a question, but I just forgot it. It's part of.
But basically, the overall, my whole journey and all this, dude, I want to be able to provide opportunities for artists. Okay, so basically, the goal down the road is once the trademark comes in, I'm waiting on that shit, and it's expensive, and you know what I mean. It's like the worst shit ever, man, is to pay $700 to the government, and if it doesn't go through, you don't get that shit back. You know what I mean? So I've been, so I'm like, I got my, my fingers crossed here and everything, but there's a lot of paperwork involved, trying to make it into a label and all these other things that I want to, I got paying taxes on it. So I mean, it's to some people, there's a small piece that they don't really understand what's going on yet because there's a lot of shit that's going on that's being collected. The build up phase. You know what I mean? Before you start any kind of business, you're going to have a lot of fees to dish out. You know what I mean?
Well, you brought it up yourself. Trademarks.
Yeah.
You know how crazy it is that someone else can go trademark your name if they pay the fee?
Yeah.
And the government can give them that trademark, and then you can't even use your name anymore.
Yeah, it's weird shit, dude. Trust me,
yeah,
man. And the
just
amount
the
of
way
emails,
things.
the amount of emails that I get from all over the world from people like other trademarking places. I forgot the other one's called Wellpack or something. The international trademark, man. I mean, it's like
Mhm.
$5,000-6,000 to get completely, immersed.
Yeah,
But which is those are the plans. I mean, but you have to, like I said, I have to have the way that I had to write out the the the, the service. I think it's called service mark. That's what it is before you get the trademark SM. But I forgot the category. I have to file it. They have to be exact, and the way you have
uh-huh.
to write it, use semicolons. You can't just put a comma. It's got to be a special type of language, on what you're doing,
Uh-huh.
or it can get passed. You know what I mean? Oh, he doesn't have it like this. I don't understand this language. It's kind of like in the court of law, like how it's like, thou shalt walketh toward the aisle
Yeah.
this springeth, and I'm just like, I don't speak like that. I'm like, listen, I want to promote people's music. I want to, sign them to a label, and I want to, sell it. You know what I mean? And yeah, but it's so like I said, I have to learn the, and that's when my wife comes in, man, because my wife is, very strong business minded, and I was always just a get in there and bust it out kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't always translate so well for you know.
I know exactly how you are. I'm a jump in head first. Let's get this shit done type of guy. We'll worry about all the paperwork and stuff later. Well, in this instance, you can't really do that, and I think Rosetta Stone should actually come out with a whole thing to teach people how
Oh
to
yeah,
translate like legalese and
yeah.
stuff like that because it's a completely different language, and no wonder they're always finding loopholes in there because no one understands it at all. They're like, what? Okay.
When I went in to get my license, you know what I mean, just the business
Mhm.
license, okay? I'm like, are we good now? She's like, well, are you an LLC or are you a sole proprietor? You know what I mean? She starts saying all this other shit. I'm like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, I want to be an LLC. She said, well, you plan to make $10,000 this year? I'm like, I wish I could. That's what I want, and so that's what I went for first, right? And then I end up screwing myself over. I had to undo it all and redo it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's not just like go down and get it wrapped up right away. Like, I had to stand in line and come back the next week, and so I had to get it changed from an LLC to a sole proprietorship. You know what I mean? And what's so funny about government is that you would hope and expect it all works fluently, together. But what happens is you have the state, and then you got the state, and you got the Fed. You know what I mean? And for some reason, these two jerks, they just don't mash together perfectly. You know what I mean? And so you got the county, the state, and you got the freaking Fed. You know what I mean? And so they had me. I got a bill in the mail for $15,000 in back taxes. I shit my pants because this is brand new, man. Like this is like I'm like this shit just started, and these fucks are already trying to charge me 15 grand. You know what I mean? I'm like, I haven't made any fucking money yet.
Yeah.
So I was on the
You're
phone, man.
pre.
It took 4 hours trying to get a hold of somebody to tell me, like, listen, you're not going to jail. You're not going to. Your company's fine. Yeah, I'm like, what happened is they charged me taxes on the LLC, and they made an assessment of the value of the business.
Mhm.
And they kept charging me monthly for like 5 months. You know what I mean? Like $2,000. I was just like,
You were basically paying property taxes
yeah,
on your business, and see, yeah, you don't have to explain to me about how the government works. My day job is working for the government.
I was going to ask you that. I was like, man,
So,
what do you do, dude?
so, yeah, I I have to cut through so much red tape just to be able to do my job on a daily basis. So you don't have to explain to me how.
I watched that video. I'm pretty interested about this. I watched the video last night, the interview with you and that Music Marketing Academy guy.
Mhm.
Uh, so you freaking are you like mega smart? Like you build computer networks?
Yeah, that's what I do. I
Code
wouldn't
and
call
all
myself. I
that.
wouldn't. I would. I can code. I normally don't. Most of my time, I tell pieces of computer how to talk to other pieces of computer equipment.
Jesus. We
And
need to get on the phone. We need to talk in real life.
yeah, I can make it. I can make a trip down to Nashville. I'm not that
Yeah.
far. It's only about an eight and a half hour drive. So,
Jesus, that's
but
good. Crazy. Where'd you go to
yeah.
college at?
Uh,
Or did you go to school
uh,
military? Or did
well, I started. I went a couple years of junior college, community college. Then I was in the military, and then I went to like 5 weeks of technical school just so I can have the certifications, because no one will do anything with you without a certification. So basically, I went and used my GI Bill and had the government pay for 5 weeks of technical schools that I really didn't need because I'd already been doing all that stuff anyways without, and I'm basically self-taught on how to do that.
That's brilliant, dude.
I went through. I said now. How I got my job is I was previously military and I'd already had a security clearance, so it was easier for me to get a security clearance. And I had this one piece of paper that said, yeah, I went through and I studied this course, so I got hired. And then I pretty much day one I sat down and self-taught myself how to do all of that. Just going through and clicking keys and trial and error. And
same thing with me in engineering, man. I mean, when I went to school in Arizona, it was like going to freaking the school for mutants, the X-Men of music people. I mean, there's like dudes out there freaking playing Mozart, like, and I'm just like, I didn't grow up playing classical music or anything, but when you go to like a school where everybody's a musician, or everybody wants to be in the industry, and you walk in, it's freaking overwhelming. I'm sure you went to, when you were in those classes, those guys, there were some dudes who were just like insane with the skills, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, you sit there and I wasn't a slouch by any, but you be sitting there and people, you would literally look over and people would be sleeping. They were just there because they had to be, pretty much like I was, and they didn't need to listen because they were savants in it. They could just go through and it just some people it just comes natural. Like some people are just naturally gifted at music. I can't play a single instrument at all. I mean, I really don't do much of anything good except for talk. And yeah, it's just I've always had the ability, if I actually want to do something, I can sit down and I can pick things up pretty quickly. It's just the way I am. And
do you ever get jaded with stuff at all? Like when you do it, what's the word? You have so much of it, and then it almost starts to become less exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes robotic, where it's just one right after another, and I get bored with stuff very, very easy.
What's your birthday? What month are you born in?
July.
July? So yeah. So you're I'm a Leo, so I'm like I get bored real fast, dude.
I'm July 22nd, so I'm the cusp day between Cancer and Leo. So really? Yeah, I'm a little bit of both. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Best friends maybe someday.
And what's that?
I think that means we can almost be best friends someday.
Yeah, and
how awkward is that shit? When someone asks you a question like that, you don't even know
them. But yeah, once I learn a skill, unless there's something that has to be kept learning about it, it really just becomes boring and tiresome, and I have to move on. I don't like doing repetitive things over and over again, because it becomes just stagnant to me and stale, and I have to keep challenging myself, and then I just completely drop off the map. But
that's pretty much what we were talking earlier about the failing part. That's pretty much what would happen to me every single time I get to this peak, and then I would just be like, woo!
Yeah, I mean, I get to a point where I've been doing something and it hasn't been challenging, so I get to the point where I just don't care anymore because I can do it in my sleep. So I just go through the motions, and pretty much that's what I do. I'm working on something else and doing that at the same time, and it's not like my work suffers from it. It's just I lose interest in it, and I have to keep challenging myself to do more and more things. And I guess it's something with with what they in the IQ range that they say I'm in, that most people that are in that range will have the same issues. It's
What are you at?
almost
You got me all curious. You said you dropped the IQ bomb. What's with that, man?
the last time that I was measured was 143.
Holy shit!
So
I'm speaking of
so
alien.
they say they say I'm smart. I don't really necessarily agree with them, but that's what they tell me.
I mean, if you're designing the kind of stuff you're designing, I'm sure it's just. I mean, that's a lot of work, man. I mean, computer networks, military. I can only imagine what you could. If you can only imagine what the things that are going on in my mind. I can see you in the room like Mission Impossible, flying up infrared radars and shit.
You know, most of the work that I do, the hardest part is being able to get to in there and get to do it, because all the BS you got to put up with to get it done. But yeah, picking things up like that's what I do. But it also has a downside, is because no matter what you do, even though you master something and people come to you and I mean, in my job description, my actual job description, the very first line says subject matter expert in my written job description for the government. And I don't think of myself as an expert, but yeah, I guess computers are completely weird, because there's several different groups that come together to make a computer network and all that stuff work, and none of them want to work together, and it's never the other person's fault, to do it from the coders all the way through the end users. And I'm kind of like the bridge in between. I got to get what the coders make, which we won't even go there. Developers really aren't my friends. I got to make what they put out, talk to the people who are actually going to be using it, and I got to make the people that are using it understand how to make it work. So yeah, but music is kind of like my only release from any of that, because it's something that, one, no matter what kind of mood I'm in or anything like that, I can find a song that can explain how I'm feeling. And actually, I think it was music. I think Music Marketing Academy, actually, he does these like daily polls on Twitter, and he had one day. And it may have been even on Instagram, but he was asking why you like music so much. And I was like, because you can take any one person and see what music they're listening to at any point in time. The music you listen to tells the story of your life. Mm-hmm. Because when you're in a certain mood, you're going to listen to a certain type of music. Yeah. And you can tell, you can actually, if you knew what someone was listening to at any given moment, you can tell exactly what they were feeling. Yeah. And that's why I love music so much, because it connects me with what the person was thinking that was writing the song, and then the person who's playing the song is not necessarily the person who wrote it, is the one who's performing it. It offers that connection to another human being, and you don't always get that in everyday life, you know. I mean, everybody has their own thing, and they get busy doing this thing or that, but it offers a connection to someone else outside your realm of control, so to say.
Even those songs about twerking, right? He's like, man, I'm
personally,
right now.
Personally, I don't have many of those on my playlist, but
I'm thinking about
each their own
right now in this conversation.
Okay. Well, people always ask what's my favorite song, and I was like, well, you're gonna have to just stop. You're gonna have to tell me what genre you're talking about and give me a time frame, because I have a very eclectic taste in music.
Are you from the grunge era? How old are you?
I'm 43.
43? I'm 38.
Yeah. And I'm a hairband guy.
Okay. So you knew Pantera when they were a hair band before they became Pantera?
Yeah. I'm back at the beginning, Motley Crue playing the strip type of guy because my brothers are 7 and 9 years older than me. So growing up, I listened to the music that they listened to.
Yeah.
So that's where I started. But also, if you watched my show the other night, I was talking to Orange G, and when we take road trips as a kid, my father had 3 cassette tapes in the car that we would listen to.
You didn't get a choice.
We had Creedence Clearwater Revival, we had ABBA, and we had the Coasters.
Yeah.
Those are all completely different types of music, but still, I can sing any one of those songs off that cassette, any one of those cassettes at any given moment without hesitation. So I've grown with a great appreciation from literally everything from ABBA to ZZ Top, and anything in between. You know, classical music, rap, you name it. At some point in time, I can have an appreciation for it. I may not necessarily, it may not be my first pick if I'm going to pick an album, but I have an appreciation for that type of music.
I completely agree with that, dude. I mean, I grew up. My stepmom, my dad used to pound Annie Lennox. You know, walking on broken glass. You know, like that kind of stuff. Like those pop hits from back in those days. I mean, Robert Plant, Billy Joel, all these these guys that I have a very, like I said, like the whole thing behind the movement is all genres. You know what I mean? And I come across a lot of cats who are, they're very determined to stick with just their genre. And that's all good. I mean, I've rapped. I just did nothing but rap for 8 years of my life. I mean, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
From when I graduated high school, it was nothing but open mic nights, making rap records and selling beats. And, it was just, that's all it was. But I also grew up in the grunge era. I loved Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, the Meat Puppets, the Melvins. I mean, I grew up with that too. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's like when people are talking about, I mean, the culture. I just grew up with this pop culture, and then also the underground culture as well. I love it. It's like I can't, when I hear something that bops, I'm like, man, that's good. You know what I mean? There's things that are good. And when I was that kid who used to go to the CD store once a week on Friday, and I'd get one CD just for that one damn song, and I it was the only one that I heard. Like when Radiohead came up with Pablo Honey, all I knew was the song "Creep." Okay, Creep. And I bought the album just for that song. And then I ended up falling in love with all the other stuff, like the Oasis, the Wonderwall. You know what I mean? It's like these one songs, like, the ones that are playing on MTV like day and night, And I take the money I make for the weekend and I go and buy this one CD. And, I'd fall in love with all the other tracks, That's how it's. Music's not like that anymore. It's not music's still magical. I come across stuff all the time. What's even cooler about music now is because it's social media based. You can almost interact with them immediately. Some people that that you can build a relationship with in a way that make music right away off the bat. Back in the day, it was a lot different process. It was a lot more. It's still
and what I've been telling people is, the thing about music nowadays is because back in when I was growing up in the 80s and even on into the early 90s, is everything was set in a genre. You were either country music, you were rock, you were hip hop, jazz, whatnot. But today, with all the cross collabs and stuff, you bring elements of all of this different music together, and it's now more than any time in the history that music is just pretty much just music. It's almost genreless. You can call it one genre, but it'll fit into another one, or it may fit into multiple ones. Also, you mentioned Annie Lennox earlier, and I actually have a funny story about Annie Lennox. This was back when she was fronting the Eurythmics, and the song "Sweet Dreams."
Yeah, that's a good song right there.
Okay, if you ever seen the video of it, Annie Lennox with the short haircut and looking pretty butch, when she was with the Eurythmics. And she went out on tour. I can't remember where it was that they went, but it was a country that it was not very open with things of that nature, and they actually made her prove that she was a female before she was allowed to perform. Yes.
That's crazy.
And so that's how far we've come. That's just that was 30 years ago. So, and now, or 40 years ago now. So, but yeah, we've come so far as a society, and now everything is completely different. Kids today who stream their music, that's the only way they ever had the music is, you want to hear a song, you find that particular song. They will never know what it's like to have to go buy a cassette tape and listen to the whole side of it to get to the song that you want to listen to. Or they'll never know the pain of having to sit there and wait for an hour for your song to come on the radio so you can press record to get it recorded on said cassette tape. And we went through great lengths and to get music back in the day. So now, but it gave me more of an appreciation from it, because you just didn't buy something for one song. I mean, if you wanted that, they used to have cassette singles where they would have just the very popular songs and stuff. But if you bought an album, you listened to the whole damn album. Oh, yeah. And nowadays, when people like mention a group that even like, let's see, who one right off the top of the head, and now I'm getting my old age brain farts. But Journey. People ask people what's their favorite Journey song, and of course all of them are just the popular ones. And then I'm like, no, man, you need to go find some deeper tracks than that. I mean, those are good songs, but it's not their best song. Just because they were the most popular at the time doesn't mean that they're their best song. And you'll find that most of the time for artists, especially the older ones, my personal favorite songs from them are some of their deeper cuts that most people don't even realize were even there. Can you believe we've already been talking for almost an hour, and it's just
holy shit, on. Dude! It's been like 15 minutes,
right? And that's how these things normally go. I mean, when we get into it, it's not like an interview. It's not like you're on 60 Minutes or anything. It's just a conversation there. We're two people hanging out and talking about music and stuff. But before we go any further, is there anything that you want to let any of the audience people actually know about People of the Parallel?
Favorite color is green.
Favorite color is green.
That's one of them. I mean, I love music. I love community. Most importantly, the whole goal is to be able to. I don't like the word influence because it sounds like manipulation in a way, but I like the word influence. But I want to inspire people to freaking let's walk down the street together and throw our shit everywhere so everybody sees it. You know what I mean? And listens to it, And it's kind of like that Three Mind Blight guy and I. He's very good at doing what I'll explain it. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, we interact in a way to where when you interact, man, it doesn't take much. Okay, it doesn't take it. If you want to do social media, like if you want to be an artist on social media, posting links and shit, you want to do these things, you have to take an hour out of the day to respond. Whether it's a like, drop a GIF, or some way to let the person know you acknowledge the situation. I wouldn't have half the people. So out of all these thousands of people that I've interacted with over these past 2 years, man, I've accumulated a solid group of 50 individuals. Okay, these 50 people have changed my life on social media, and then there's a group of 10 guys that are like we're in tiers with each other. Okay, we have there's 3 tiers. There's a tier where we all respect the fact that we all have other lives, and then there's another tier. There's a tier 2 where we're a little bit closer to the tier 1 where we actually do business. You see what I'm saying? So we all operate with each other and we all help each other out. And it's like I said, it's just it's so simple, man, to make the power happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know?
I was reading the comments, and Mike from Three Mind Blind, he was like, "I was just saying the same thing about you." He talking about you.
Yeah.
So,
I was like, man, show that deep
yeah.
shit. Oh, yeah. No. But
Mike's my bro, man.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I can't stand Mike. You know, when I first met him, I was like, man, dude, this guy, I can't stand him. No, I'm just joking. No. I like Mike. Man, that's what's weird too, because I messaged him a couple months ago, and I was like, man, I'm like, I googled your name, and you're like on every fucking page. Like it's like it's like so. I probably got like max 3 page. Like my goal is to get my name out there so damn far. It's like you got to like, where does it stop and where does it begin? So I admire Three Mind Blight for that shit. Man, I've when I interact with people, man, I look them up online. Okay, so I mean, I go to Google, I type in the name, and I'm like, well, how far? Who is this person? Where have they been? You know what I mean? What do they do? Because that's, like I said, I use the freaking tools. And there's some people who just get online. They're just like walking around like, I mean, just everywhere. Look at that. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, I wanted to operate with a plan. So like I said, when I met a guy like Mike, so how I met Mike was this. So I was like seeing this guy's face everywhere. Okay, these Three Mind Blight tweets everywhere. Okay, and it had hashtag LGTW on them. There was like probably 400 or 500 of them over a period of maybe a month. And then I was like, one night I'm like, man, I'm gonna DM this dude. I'm like, man, I see this. I'm like, man, who the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, I'm like, how do you know about this tag, dude? You know what I mean? I'm like, because it's like there's like 50 of them in a row, and they're like from other promo accounts, which is brilliant. You know what I mean? Because it's that's how I met the dude. You know what I mean? I met the dude because he's good at spreading his shit everywhere. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I did. You know what I mean? So I kind of had a little thing. I was like, hey man, I'm like, you should, why don't you, let's talk more. You know what I mean? We just recently started, talking again more often than not. But I mean, I've taken an interest in what he does, and so I'm looking to become his best friend too. You know what I'm saying, though, man? You'll meet a couple dudes online that are legit, and they're down. They see what we click, and so shit works. And I think it's a good thing.
You think you see him everywhere now? You wait till this pandemic's over, and me and him are gonna get together once this pandemic's over, and you're gonna see a lot more of us. We're gonna be everywhere. We're gonna team up, and no matter, you're gonna turn the TV on. We're gonna be there. You won't be able
to fucking ride in the sidecar or something, man. You gotta.
Hey, man. I've been putting your hashtag on my stuff for over a year now. So you're in there.
I remember that day. I remember that day when I was I dipped it in the tweet. I was like, man, I care. Yeah, I mean, because you made a tweet about, because it's fucking hard, man. When you're retweeting everybody's shit all the time, and it can wear you down. You know what I mean? It's like it's a major. So for me, a lot of people say there's a big difference between reality and not reality. There's energy in all this shit, man. There's energy in social media. You can feel when someone's a D-bag, and you're like, okay, I just gotta kind of step back from this individual and try to find something a little more positive, But yeah, man, that I retweeted links for months, and it's just like it can wear on you. It can, and still to this day, I have a lot of tweets that I got to retweet. I go through and check, and the LGTWO tweets, and I used to do them all, like every single tweet. If there was 600-700 a day, I'd do them all. You know what I mean? The most we've had is 850 LGTWO tweets in one day. That's a lot of freaking people putting, LGTWO on a tweet. And it started to get to the point where there was like, porn shit, and like people were using it for the wrong reasons. Yeah. And I was like, okay, now it's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, you got to kind of step back a little bit, and you've reached your goal of getting to 10,000 people, followers, of people you interact. That was the first goal, was to get there, to establish the hashtag. And but there was some people that were doing it, like there was a couple guys, sometimes like there's like a couple of people that are doing it 50 times back to back. This tweet over and over again, and so I'm not a robot. I'm a real person going through these things and seeing this shit happen. And I'm like, okay, what happened?
There's a reason why I'm WeareLegion here and not WeareLegion Music, because my WeareLegion Music account got reported as being a bot, and Twitter goes and drop me.
Shut down like twice a week.
Yeah, and so
uncle works for Twitter, so I mean I have access into Twitter. My uncle's senior director for the marketing department. I'm just playing. That's one of bullshit. We're going to see what you say. Bullshit. But no.
Hey man, it's your story.
No, I'll tell you right now, man. I used to get shut down 2 to 3 times a week in the beginning, and I can go well over the limit right now for some reason. They let me go way over 300. There's like a 300 max in an hour. You know what I mean? So I can blast off upwards to 500 under that hour.
You know, I didn't even realize there was a limit, because people tell me all the time is, man, I don't retweet this because I might get locked out of tweets. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because there's times when I'll have 600-700 retweets in an hour, and I don't even think about it. I just keep retweeting, especially if like at nighttime, because I've been starting to schedule my daily threads. So when I get up in the morning and get ready for work, and then I go to work, and then I get to work, I've already got like 200 people dropping in there, and so I'm and then all the other ones, and now with the daily artist of the day, yeah, they go fast. And when people told me that, I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't realize that people get blocked for the number of retweets. Maybe it has something to do with the amount of followers and stuff that you have.
It's I've tested every single limit on the Twitters. First, after Twitter's been dominated, we're going to move to Instagram, and Facebook's going to be the last thing. Instagram, then YouTube, and then Facebook. But we're all going in an order to a place to where, so when we do have plus 10 everywhere, you know, everything will be established already and will function pretty much on its own, as opposed to muscling it really hard, you know, on all the platforms at one time, which I've already tried. And everything's set up and good, but like I said, there's some that you know, Twitter was a beast in the beginning that you have to figure out. You know, each of these platforms has these triggers, and some people get it, some people don't. You know what I mean? For me, Facebook is just like a nightmare. I'm like, oh my god, it makes me sick looking at the GUI, the GUI, the platform. It just makes me nauseous. But I know eventually I'm gonna knock it out. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be like a job to go there. And that's what happened when I first got on Twitter, man. I'm like, it was like a job. Like, I'm like, how do I make this thing breathe? You know, and how can it breathe if I take a day or two off on social media? Will it fall apart? You know, and for the first year, man, I had to do, you know, I was spending 8 to 10 hours a day on this shit. You know what I mean? And some people are like,
I know what you're talking about.
All my kids are doing multiplication math next to me. I mean, we're doing school. I'm just networking. You know what I mean? It's like a freaking machine. It's a brain. You know what I mean? And as soon as you make it, and I don't. It's when you look back. You know how when you look back on things and you're like, holy shit! Like there was a time when it was just like a big fat zero. You know, like just nothing. Nobody would budge. Like, how do I talk here? You know? So it's just like you pick up a phone and you don't have any phone numbers to dial. You know, and when you figure it out, when you finally figure it out, it worked. I was lucky. I met 6 dudes in the beginning, man. 6 guys that were down to help me get the name started. And if it wasn't for them, I never would have. This shit never would have happened at all. You know,
I haven't been able to get a hashtag going like you have, but
your hashtag's pretty damn good too, man. It's
well, you know, the one thing in my whole thing is that. And in my analytics, that's horrible. Is the number of mentions that I have in other people in other people's tweets. I mean, I'll go a whole month and I may get, if I'm lucky, 10K mentions.
Oh, that's freaking phenomenal. What's your page visits?
What? My page visits are like 1.5 million, 2 million.
Page visits?
Yeah.
Impressions.
Well, that's impressions. Page visits, yeah, they're like 45,000 for page visits.
Jesus Christ, you need to get that blue check mark then.
You know what? According to the new rules, if you've went in and read them, I'm not eligible for a blue check mark because I have not created a hashtag, and I'm not associated with an R, and I'm not associated with someone who's already verified.
Wow.
You might be eligible because you have.
I'm getting verified. That's my goal for this year, is to get verified on one of these accounts.
You have that major hashtag.
I didn't know you had to have a hashtag for that. I had no idea.
Go read their new crazy old rules. When they first came out, I read them, and you can ask Mike. I was even complaining to Mike about it. I was like, man, dude, I'll have almost 18,000 followers now, and I'm not even eligible to get verified. For me to get verified without creating a major hashtag, I have to be in the top 0.01% of followers in the United States.
We gotta get you in a bunch of blogs then. That's what to get your name.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Since I haven't been mentioned in other media outlets, because I'm not an artist, I'm just a promoter. You have to have at least 3 mentions in what they consider major media outlets, which must mean verified media outlets.
Tell Mike to get you going over there. This guy's got like miles and miles of pages of stuff.
And I've done interviews and stuff. I've done radio interviews, and you saw the interview with Music Marketing Academy, but I don't know if that would classify for them. It's an all type of, it's just mathematical algorithm.
Me and Mike need to all be in a little room together talking about something like, because I still want to pick his brain about that. You come up with some compile. Have you looked them up online? Fremont Light? On the Google thing.
No, I can already tell you.
So I
haven't looked anybody up, but I know
that independent that has that many. So he's great at networking, which I have yet to pick his brain yet about all that because of my insecurities. I'm just playing, dude. I'm just joking. What I'm saying? When you don't know somebody, you're not gonna go to him and start jocking them, like, "Hey, man, how are you doing this?" So you got, like I said, is he still here in the other room looking or listening?
Oh yeah, he's still here.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? I'm gonna be asking what questions over the next couple of weeks, man.
But you'd be surprised how well it would work if you DM somebody and say, "Hey man, I've noticed this. Do you care if I pick your brain about it?" And especially someone like Mike, he'd be very responsive to that, and he's not going to turn you down unless you're an asshole. To be quite honest. But you are.
I think for a long time people didn't know that I was LGTWO. Okay, I think that they thought that I was like somebody. I thought they thought it was separate, and so I thought a little bit. Mike thought I was an asshole. I thought that he was cool with people with a parallel, but didn't like LGTW. I thought he thought that I was a dick for the hashtag thing. You know what I mean? Because we do have support rooms that are pretty much based on the hashtag, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the way that it's the tiers of people where I can communicate with them every day, and I see that the hashtag. And so it's when I did that interview with It's a Rap Yo, I finally made it clear. I mean, just no one ever probably Googled my name to see who it was.
Yeah, you know what? I've never even thought about Googling Music Legion or WeareLegion music at all.
It goes and it gets logged in the algorithm. I my name 20 times a day.
Yes, Mike. He told me how to fix that, and here's the reason why I haven't fixed that yet. Because I'm gonna, as soon as I can get Music Legion verified, I'm going to separate WeareLegion Live and Music Legion into separate accounts to try to drive up the numbers here on the YouTube page. I don't want to separate it before I can get verified on WeareLegion because I'm afraid once I separate them, it's going to draw people away from the big account to specifically the other one, and I need to have at least that one verified account. I mean, I pull in my fair share of verified people now, and it took a long time before anybody verified would even remotely take me serious.
Yeah.
But now we're starting to see more and more. I mean, when they click over on the page, and then especially on Twitter, and they say almost 18,000 followers, and then they're like, all right, well, maybe this guy's legit. And then they start, now they're seeking me out. I'm not seeking them out any longer. And so this is the year that things are going to start rolling. I really want to get this damn pandemic crap over with, because I would have no problem just meeting up, going to Tulsa or coming to Nashville, and just me, you, Mike in a room, just brainstorming and taking over the whole damn industry. I don't really care, because I don't care what genre the big dogs are doing. The biggest genre out there is independent artists. Yeah. So and they're pretty much leaving them for dead, you know. But we got some things going on. Especially, I want to drop this out there again. Coming up to what's today? Today's the 12th. So Wednesday, 13th, 14th, Friday. 2019 Indies at 2019 Indies is going to drop how to do the voting for the Indie Awards, which both Mike and I are been nominated for Indie Awards. He's for Vocalist of the Year, and I'm for Media of the Year for this show. And we want to make sure everybody gets out there to vote. Voting is going to be the week of the 20th to the 27th of January, and the awards will be given out on Valentine's Day. I'm not asking you to vote for me. If you want to vote for me, outstanding. I'm just honored being nominated.
I got you, man. I'm juiced in with you, man. So it's like we're connected. So I got you back.
But I just want people to get out there and vote. Period. To show the appreciation for the great talent that has been nominated in all the different categories, because there's tons of amazing talent, and most of the people that have been nominated you will find in my daily streams. So it's part of the community. Who's got great acting skills there, Mike? He's trying to say that I'm acting and playing enough. I'm not asking, but really, I would appreciate votes.
Oh, yeah,
but I'm not going to ask for votes. I want to win it on merit, and not just because people are like, oh yeah, the dude retweets my shit every day, so I'm going to vote for him.
It's a week. I mean, come on, I got you. I see everything.
I mean,
hardcore. I gotta get your freaking website. I didn't fill out that questionnaire yet. I was gonna transcript this conversation.
Yeah, I sent those out. I sent 15 of those out for people who asked for them. One person even requested that info. I've only gotten 2 of them back.
Well, here's the thing with me, dude. It's so hard to write about so this conversation here, I'm glad it's happening, because I'm going to play this back and fill in those blanks and send it to you. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what it is, dude. But it's like reading sheet music. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh shit, just let me play it. So it's how we're doing it like this. You know what I mean?
You want to tell me about it? I can say that we can have this conversation. I can go turn around and go write 3 or 4 pages on you, but you asked me to write something about myself, and it's like 5 words, and that's it. It's like, what you see is what you get.
When my first job that actually helped me when I moved out at 19, and I was a mover, like a shipper and packer for Grable Van Lines and Allied Van Lines, and it was amazing, man. We'd be moving doctors' houses, people, really smart people, and they would look at us, and everybody looked at us like we were d-bags, man. Like, oh, here's the movers, you know what I mean? But it's not really like that. But it's funny when we go there, they'd be like, it's amazing how you pack that box. And you're almost like looking at them like, man, are you insulting me? Like, are you fucking serious? Like,
Yeah.
The dish pack, you know what I mean? They're like, she's like, I tried to pack some of the kitchen stuff last night for like 3 hours. I couldn't get past the first cabinet. And this lady's got a freaking PhD.
And yeah, it's amazing that the things that people do that you actually take for granted, some things that are just you feel that are just so completely easy. There's actually people that are going to struggle with that, and helping people. Yeah, but yeah, if you ask me to talk about myself, I'm like, unless you ask me specific questions, then yeah, I don't talk much about myself.
Yeah. Dude, I could talk about myself all day. I'm just playing.
It just feels weird to me. But if you ask me about someone else, I could write a whole dissertation on pretty much anybody that I've talked to.
In my mind, I have this I could be like, I had this idea of, what I want to say, and then when it's just like when I used to do open mics and play live, the way it played out in my head, it didn't turn out. I didn't think I was going to wind up in my underwear screaming at the crowd, slamming the guitar on stage. It was always, everything just comes out spontaneous, unplanned, But in your head, you think it's going to be that time you get up there and rock the world. You know what I mean? And it for me, it's always gone like that with sports, with anything. I wrestled for like 10 years and did gymnastics for a real long time, and I would always visualize, right? And it never happened that way. It got close, but it was always so funny because you see the movies, they're like, visualize, close your eyes and think about what's happening. And I was a very focused kid growing up when it came to sports and all that stuff and everything. I'm still focused to this day, but it just doesn't, when it's like the meditation aspect of it all for me was always just, I was like, shit. I'm like, I really thought about that hard,
Of course, if you ask me, I don't even like the sound of my own voice. I think I sound completely stupid when I go back and I rewatch these and I'm hearing my own voice. I'm like, why does anybody even listen to this garbage? But I've always thought that. And the first time when I was in high school, I was taking dual enrollment classes and college level classes in high school, and they were doing an infomercial for the vocational school in our area, and my teacher asked me if I would just go in and answer a few questions for the people. I was like, whatever. And so I went in there and I answered a few questions for him, and I thought I sounded completely ridiculous. 3 months later, the infomercial comes out, and guess who's front and center in the infomercial? And guess what? They decided to play the video for everybody in the school, and I'm like, oh my God, I sound like such a dipshit. But everybody's like, man, that was great. And then I'd be like out on Friday nights, and we go to a different town, and people will be like, hey man, I know you. Where do I know you? Oh, I saw you on the infomercial. Because we have like the area VOTEC for the whole area, and I was like, oh God. But apparently everybody else thought it was great. Yeah. The only person that didn't think it was good was me. And
dude, I get the same shit with pictures, man. Like with pictures and the voice, with me and music, it's like a pound of auto-tune. I was like, man, okay, I got to set up so this guy's going to ask me to sing tonight. You know what I mean? So, I'm like, so what's your excuse here, But because I was watching the show, I was like, oh shit, is this guy going to ask me to bust out a guitar and sing a song, But I'm not doing that shit. It was like a pound of auto-tune and a backup singer, But, it's
no.
But what I'm saying is that it's just, you're right. It's funny. You look at yourself and then you see this thing, and then you take a picture and then it looks different than what you see in the mirror. I forgot what it's called. I saw a documentary a couple months ago about this where, you see yourself differently than how the camera sees you. So because you're so used to looking at your face at a certain way, the good side they call it, And then I'm fascinated with this dude. Like, I got a broken nose. Like, I got all types of disfigurements in my face from running into shit as a kid, and being hit with shit at the same time too. But yeah, so like when I see these pictures, dude, I'll see like disfigurements and shit, and it's funny because you don't see it when you just look in the mirror. You know what I mean?
No, see, I'm just the opposite. I see all the flaws. And then when people say, "Oh man, you sounded great," or "You look great," I'm like, "What are these idiots thinking, man?" I was like, "Oh, okay," because I see it and I can hear all the flaws, the changes in my voice and things like that. And maybe it's just because I was I was military police. I've done a lot of police work and stuff, and I've been trained in different like voice analysis and things like that, and I can pick up on things like that.
Yeah.
And most people don't pick up on it, but when I hear it, I'm like, "You sound like such a tool, man.
Yeah.
How does anybody even listen to you?" Yeah. But
it's new for me, dude, for real, because I feel the same exact way.
And
right? Big step for me right here.
And
I'm gonna use this video to promote the shit out of it and be like, blue check mark.
You know what? More power to you. That's why when I'll send you the link, and I tell everybody I send the link, I was like, share this however you want to.
Yeah, and I want to run this video up because, in my opinion, the more views you have with something that's you're on it, it's only better. It's gonna make it look better. It's gonna drive attention to you, and people are gonna be like, why the hell this guy got 300-400 views on this video? You see what I'm saying? I do that shit. I look at people and I'm like, well, here's the truth about tweets too as well. It's a guaranteed fact that after people start to see it's got more than 5 likes, they get curious. Does that mean they're gonna like the tweet right away? No, but they might expand it and look at it and see what's going on inside of it.
They're gonna check it out more.
Once it gets past 20. People start interacting. They're like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?"
Same way. It's like people look at a tweet and they're like, "Okay, why has this tweet been retweeted 95 times? I got to check out what's going on here." And and that's all you can ask. I mean, not everybody's going to do it, but the more people that you get to expand that out and to check it out, the more people with likes and stuff you're going to get. And you can go through it. If you just look at my YouTube channel and you go through all the videos, you can tell the people who've shared their videos and the ones who haven't.
Yeah. Because
there's a difference. There's ones that have shared them are going to have 70, 80, 90 likes on them or 90 views, and the ones that haven't are going to have like 28. Yeah. And those were just basically the live audience that we have.
I think I appreciate these things. When someone takes the time out of their day to do something like this with me, I appreciate it. So I mean, to me, it's like a double, triple reward. It's like the reward never ends. I mean, if you have a piece of you out there somewhere and it's public, and you took the time to do it, like I said, I bookmarked that tweet yesterday. Some people would just think, "Hey, artist of the day." To me, that shit's mad important, like majorly important. So I have bookmark tweets from all my releases that people have took the time to tweet out my songs and shit, because that shit is priceless. So when I feel like shit sometimes and like the day's not going, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? I go back and I look at stuff that people have said and to bring it lift me up, and I keep going. And I'm not a sentimental guy, dude. Like, I am not romantic. I'm like the least of all these things, you know what I mean? But I live in reality, and I am a human. And I know I have emotions. So, my goal has always been like, well, how do you tame these things? You have to have these things that are in place, these systems, and it's like why we, put bike locks on bikes in crowded areas. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's this mechanisms to, like I said, and so I don't make things too personal. And I think that's why I've been able to keep going. I don't take it personally. I look at it from the perspective of you got to grow and keep, shit, dude. I thought it was going to be way cooler when I was saying I went left field with it all.
Hey, man.
I was about to land that one, damn it. And I lost.
Hey, no big deal. But, yeah, we've been going for about an hour and a half, and we could probably go all night long if we wanted to, but we probably ought to wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, my goal is this the longest one yet?
If not, it's getting pretty close. I think this is the longest actual interview. We've had some longer videos, but that includes the chat afterwards.
Shit, goals accomplished over here. That was my goal. I'm going to keep this guy online as long as I can.
When we're sitting here vibing, I really don't even pay attention. The only reason why I say that is because if you get too long a video, then people are just immediately going to skip over because they're like, oh my God, that's so long. Yeah. And they don't even give it a chance. But we can revisit. We can come back and pick it up again on another chat forum. If you want to do, like I said, any of that promo where if people are buying like a set packages for you and you want to promise them like an interview or something with me, we can work something out like that. Anything like that. Big things are going to be coming this year, and just hang on. I'll keep you up to date, and we're gonna have a big ride.
Yeah, for sure.
Once this pandemic and stuff is over with, and we're gonna take the indie world and we're gonna make it mainstream.
I'm down for that for sure.
And that was my goal with the artist of the day thing. Is I wanted to take one indie artist every single day, and I don't care if any of the other artists like their music or not. Retweet that motherfucker so we can make that one artist go viral one day. And if we can make an indie artist every day go viral, then I've reached my entire goal for the year.
Yeah.
And because that's not something that indie artists normally get, is a chance to go viral. Yeah. And please, everybody help me.
Building these rooms. We should work on building up a room to where you have these people that you talk to every day that retweet, and that when the tweet goes in there, it's an automatic 200 likes. You see what I'm saying?
See,
right away, you drop it in there within 8 hours. It's got 200.
I've had a WeareLegion live room that's just now starting to pick up, where people are starting to follow it out of the blue. So,
you mean the list?
Yeah, the list.
I'm talking about like a DM room where you drop the artist. You have 200 people in over 4 rooms.
Let's work on getting something like that started.
Sure.
I don't care what we call it. I got some people that we can drop in there and that are constantly. You'll know the people that constantly retweet my stuff because they're the ones that they list every day. And so I got rooms like that already set up, and I know it works, dude. So I know we do one for your side of your town, and I know you got a lot of people that are connected with you that are reliable as well. Like I said, I watch, man. I see it all happening. And I think it's like I said, I'm down for collaborations of any sort right now. The main thing is to get the music out there, and we will. The easiest thing in the world for people to do is, I would expect with 18,000 followers that we could get. Law of averages says 10%, so I expect 1,800 freaking retweets every day. And
I can collect 10 people up, bring them to the room. We got some solid dudes on our side as well, and I know you got a shitload of people too as well. So like I said, we could build up. If we could together build up 4 solid rooms, 50 each. 50 each room's got 50 people in it. If everybody's down like that, out of everybody we have, between those 2 accounts, dude, it's over 30,000 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should be able to find. We make a tweet, saying that are you willing to support? Drop this, do this, and then see what happens. And then if that doesn't happen, you kind of move them on out or replace or
Mike, before you leave, I want to ask you: do you want the pre-saves for the collab coming out this weekend, or do you want me to wait until it comes out and we drop it then? because if you want the pre-saves, I'll drop Sophie as the artist of the day before this weekend, where they and drop it as a pre-save where everybody's out pre-saving the links. Because I know the pre-saves are going to help with the algorithms to get you guys on playlist. And so I wanted your input before you dropped off tonight. I mean, I got plenty of playlists that we can get you on, but if we can get you on some major playlists, because not everybody has had the privilege of hearing the song yet, but yeah, it needs to be on some major playlists. So tell me, if you want, I'll drop Sophie tomorrow, and we'll do the pre-save link. Yeah, Mike's got a collab with Sophie. She didn't make it tonight, which is this is the first one she's missed in a while. But
how many people showed up in here?
I think that at most at one time we had 7 going, but it all varies across the course, and it'll say 7, but then when it posts tomorrow, it'll say 38 people watching. So you never know. But yeah, they got a collab coming out that is real good, and Trissette and Mike have one that's going to be coming out later on. That, from what I've heard of it, is real good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check with Mike on how. I'm curious about his vocals, the reverb he uses on his tracks. I was going to DM it earlier today. I was like, "Ah, shit, I'll ask him maybe after the interview." You know,
yeah.
He's got a crazy voice where it sits on top of the music. It's like not inside of it, but it's like it's very binaural almost, like space. Like it's like it's like in this. I don't know how to explain it, dude. You've heard Pantera. I mean, the way that it was back in those days, where like the Lexicon reverb. It's like real big sounding, and it makes all the vocals like sit on top of the track like beautifully, you know. So I mean, I haven't heard that shit in a long time, and I was like, "Hey man, what the hell reverb are you using?"
He's master mixing. I still got to get my intro. He's going to be mixing my intro for the show, and I still got to get him the voiceover for it. And I meant to have it for him by today, but I've been sick and I haven't been doing much of anything. So, but yeah, why don't we go ahead and wrap this up tonight so we can keep this at just about an hour and a half. And you know how to get a hold of me in DMs. Any ideas, just shoot them to me in DMs. We'll get together. I'm ready to do a lot of collaborations and stuff, and start really making some big time waves and stuff, and getting the word out on people, you know. But thank you so much for being on the show. You're more than
appreciate it.
You're more than welcome to come back anytime, and like I said, anything that comes to mind, don't be afraid to shoot it out to me. There's no bad ideas. I work for the government. I can take a bad idea and I can take a pile of shit and turn it into a diamond. So, yeah.
So do I just fade out like this?
No, I'll just go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and say what you got to say. Goodbye to everybody, and then I'll just click you.
Thanks for showing up. See you in the tweets.
All right, man. Thank you again, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later, man.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for coming out tonight. I'm trying to respond to you, Mike. So I will wait till I'll probably wait till Saturday, since you guys got a ton of pre-saves, and that way I have time to get the actual link, because if not, I'm waiting up till 11 o'clock on Thursday night to get the link to drop it at midnight Central Time. So we'll probably just make her on Saturday and get that out there. That way everybody's alive and well on the weekends to see it. But yeah, I'm glad you all enjoyed the interview, and tonight I thought it was a really great conversation, and hoping to do a lot of collab work with them. I got some collab work that I'm going to start up with Ben Blackett from Blackett Promo and Blackett Music that we're going to be doing. And Wolf, don't apologize for being late. We're glad you showed up. I'm that one that's actually late because the show was supposed to be last night. So I'm going to cut you some slack. And then Mike and I are going to have some pretty big things coming up as well. We just need to get this pandemic stuff over, and this year's going to be real big for indie artists, and thank you all in here because a lot of you all are big supporters and of what I'm doing and trying to help others. And I think I'm going to end it with that. Just appreciate all of you, and we're going to start doing some major things, but I'm going to end it tonight, and I believe my next show is not until Saturday, but it's at 5 p.m. Central Time. We will have Tough on Fridays on Saturdays this week. They will be coming on, and they're also nominated in several categories for the Indie Awards, so you might want to catch that show. I haven't talked to them. I actually scheduled it through their PR person, so maybe they'll play, maybe they won't, but we know it's going to be a good time. But have a good night, and we will see you all on Saturday.